Hiya and welcome back to Jank Quest. Steve here, and today we have a new deck profile for LUGIA VSTAR. The deck is making a bit of a resurgence, so we wanted to give you our updated list for the Twilight Masquerade format. So without further ado, let's get to it and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Starting off, we're playing 3 copies of the LUGIA V and 3 copies of the LUGIA VSTAR. Sure, most of you are familiar with the deck by now. LUGIA V's got Read the Wind, which can come up quite often with the 1 energy cost just to be able to discard and draw cards. And then LUGIA VSTAR, it's got its Tempest Eye for 220, and both of them can discard stadiums. And obviously you're mainly running it though for its Broken VSTAR ability with Summoning Star, which can grab you 2 copies of the Archeops. So the Archeops is your energy engine, so each one of them once per turn can grab 2 special energies from your deck and attach them to a Pokemon, so you can grab up to 4 special energies each turn, which is absolutely crazy. It can also attack itself for 120, which can sometimes come up. So we have a fairly new broken attacking engine with the Minccino and Cinccino, which came out in Temporal Forces. So we've got 2 different types of Minccino, one with 70 HP and one with 60 HP. This one's got Call for Family, so it can grab you a couple of basics to your bench, and this one here is just a little bit better in terms of attacking, but there's not much in them to be honest. And then Cinccino itself is broken. It's mainly being used for special roll, so for each special energy that's attached to it, it hits for 70 damage, so you can quite easily take 1-hit KOs on anything and then trade 1 prize for 2 in return. So this is one of your main attackers that can hit, 280, 350 very easily. Very good card. Rounding off with the Pokemon, we play 1 copy of the Blood Moon Ursaluna EX, 1 copy of the Iron Hands EX, and we play 1 Lumineon V just for the utility. So the Blood Moon Ursaluna is absolutely broken. It's probably one of the best cards from Twilight Masquerade. With its Season skill, it's very similar to Radiant Charizard, meaning that for each prize your opponent has taken, its attack cost decreases by 1 colourless. So if they've taken 5 prizes, it can actually attack for free. It hits for a massive 240, and it also has 260, which is absolutely gigantic for a basic in terms of HP. It can't attack the next turn, but yeah, this can come up quite early game for me as well, and it's really, really broken late game, obviously just being able to basically be a free attacker and take those KOs. We play Iron Hands EX, which I'm sure everyone knows about by now, with Amp You Very Much being able to hit for 120 and take extra prizes. It's quite chunky itself as well, but just being able to hit those things like Lumineon, Squawkabillies. Then you've obviously got like the single prizes like the Comfies and the Ralts and things as well that this can attack and take 2 prizes for. Really unfair card. And Lumineon, really, really good card in this deck, being able to grab your supporters, which it relies on very heavily. And moving on to supporters, something that's really nice for the deck now is being able to go turn 1 Lumineon and use the brand new card Carmine. So Carmine is very similar to Professor's Research, but you only draw 5 cards. So you might think, well, it's not quite as good then. However, the thing with Carmine is that you can use it on your first turn. So even if you go first, you can discard your hands, so your Archeopses and things, and get some more draw power. So you can pretty much get set up turn 1, so you're ready to go turn 2 and use another supporter. So really, really good card. I like 2, but I wouldn't play any more than that. After that, then you've got your Professor's Research for playing the rest of the game, but yeah, turn 1 this is really good. Same thing, but just draws 7 cards. We also play Jacques. Jacques is nice because you can grab evolution Pokemon, whether you need your LUGIA VSTAR, your Cinccinos, or obviously your Archeops, and then discard them with an Ultra Ball, so it just helps the consistency. Play 2 Ionos, just being able to hand loop, so you might want to refresh your own hand, or if your opponent is ahead, being able to disrupt their plays. I'm sure we all know what it does by now, but great card obviously. Next we play 3 copies of Boss's Orders, just for the Gusting ability, especially when you're playing hard-hitting cards like the Cinccino, or potentially wanting to take multiple prizes with the Iron Hands, really good. And then we also play Thornton. This is quite spicy, so if your Lugia is KO'd and you've only got the 1 on the first turn, then you can switch it out with Thornton, bring it back, and then evolve it because the card that was already there has been there a turn, so that's quite nice. You can also bring back the likes of Blood Moon Ursaluna as well, if it's already been KO'd early game for those late game cheeses, be able to attack for nothing. It's a very versatile card, so a lot of fun to use it. Next up, we go to items. Play 4 copies of Ultra Ball, definitely mandatory. You can search you any Pokemon, but discarding 2 Pokemon is actually a bonus as well, because you want to be able to discard your Archeops, because Summoning Star only brings them back from the discard. We play 1 copy of Nest Ball, just a bit of extra consistency, so you can grab like a Lugia that you need or something. Later in the game you can grab a Blood Moon Ursaluna or a Hands or something, jet it in or retreat into it, just gives you a bit more ball support. And we play 2 copies of Great Ball. This is good just to be able to hit those consistency cards as well. Just be able to look at the top 7. And then we play Capture and Aroma. It's not always one of my favourite cards, but it always does replace itself in card advantage. Heads for a evolution, tails for a basic. So you always want to use that first before you use these, to be fair, so you know what you're grabbing, because you don't have the choice obviously with this. So moving on to stadiums, we don't play any tools ourselves, which is part of the reason why we are moving on to this, because it turns off all tools when this is in play. This is really good because tools are really prevalent at the moment in the meta. You've got things like Hero's Cape, you've got Luxurious Cape, Maximum Belt, Bravery Charm, and a heap of others, including tools for future and ancient decks. So being able to turn those cards off can really help your matchups. Sometimes if they're HP boosting, it can also let you take multiple KOs, it can protect your Pokemon from taking KOs, and if they've got things like Forest Seal as well, it can hurt their consistency. And being as we don't play any tools ourselves, it just seems a no-brainer to play this. Really good in terms of matchups against things like Guardy, Future Box. And then moving on to Energy finally, which takes up quite a lot of the deck, being Lugia. We play Legacy Energy, 4 copies of Gift Energy, 4 copies of Jet Energy, 4 copies of Double Turbo, and finishing it off with 3 copies of Mist. There's a lot of variety here. Legacy Energy is the new Ace spec from Twilight Masquerade. It's absolutely insane in this deck because you can combo it with the Iron Hands. This can fill in for the Lightning Energy so that you can use Amp You very much, and then you're also trading it as if it was a 1-prizer. It can also just be really nice in terms of that prize trade. If you don't need it for hands, like you've got a Chinchino, you can attach this so they KO it and they don't even take a prize. So really, really good card, quite unfair in terms of being able to lower the prizes they take, especially when you've got cards that take extra prizes like Iron Hands. Gift Energy really, really helps in terms of draw power for the deck. So when they KO one of your Pokemon, you draw until you've got 7 cards, so just refills your hand and gives you massive advantage. Doesn't work when you've got things like Roaring Moon, for example, so the Gift Energy won't proc if it instant kills it, but we do have Mist Energy, which stops the effects of attacks. We've got 4 copies of Double Turbo. It obviously decreases the damage by 20, however it's really good for retreating and can quite quickly get your Pokemon going in terms of their high attack costs, which is why I do still keep the 4. A lot of people will play 3. And we play 4 copies of Jet Energy, just be able to switch, and if you don't need the switch, they're all just sort of colourless energies that can fill in and do a job. And that is the deck. So I hope you've enjoyed the profile. I've seen lots of different ways to play the deck. I've seen some spicy lists that don't play the likes of Minccino, Chinchino, but they'll rely more on Iron Hands and things. There's lots of scope for the deck and it's still got lots of life in it yet. So let us know in the comments what you would change and what you think of the profile. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos and we'll see you again soon.